Jennings, and welcome to my video for this Stamp Around UK video hop. You will find me at Love-a-Duckie.co.uk, where you'll find links to all of my projects and shops and downloads and all the stuff, all the good stuff over on there. So do go and check that out. And also, of course, also follow me here on YouTube. And once you've watched my video, don't forget to follow the links that are going to be down below in the description to see all the other lovely projects that have been created for you this month on the Stamp Around UK team. This month we are doing a challenge, a sketch challenge, which is always very exciting. It's always lovely to have a challenge of some sort to get your teeth into a great starting point for any crafting. So I am not able to print at the moment. I'm waiting for a new printer cartridge. My replacement cartridge did not want to work, did not want to talk to my printer, so I'm not able to print. But here we are. Hopefully on the screen you can see the sketch that we are working to this month, and we'll perhaps come back to that when I've finished to see if we're anywhere near where we wanted to be with that sketch. So let me, without any further ado, bring in my, let's take that off. Let's bring this one on, and hopefully you can see my mat, my desk in front of me. Hopefully you can't see too much of my desk in front of me, just the piece that I've cleared. So I am going to use the Greenery Lane bundle for my card. So we've got the stamps with a lot of two-step stamping on here, a few nice little sentiments, and then we've got the dies. Most of the dies in this bundle do cut out those stamped images, with the exception of this die just here, this foliage piece just here. So a really nice bundle, but coordinating with that bundle, we have got the washi tape, and I've gone ahead and stuck a piece of washi tape to some vellum here because I am going to die cut some of these. And so the dies in our bundle are going to cut for us those images on our washi tape. So we're going to be doing a bit of die cutting of those. Let's find the dies rather than stamps, and then we might be able to illustrate that these will die cut these pieces just here. So for all of these images on this washi tape, you'll find you have a die that will cut it out. Always best to stick it onto something, a piece of card, or piece of acetate, a bit of window sheet, or as I have done here, a piece of vellum. And the new vellum that we have is a really nice substantial vellum, so perfect for doing things like sticking your washi tape to it. Gives it some real good stability. So we're going to do a little bit of die cutting of those. I have already gone ahead and cut some pieces, so I have guesstimated what I think the sizes should be to match this sketch. So I've got a piece that will come down here like that. So I've got a 4 centimetre by 10 centimetre piece of Pretty Peacock and a 3.5 by 9.5 piece of Basic White. And then just here I have got a 6 by 7 centimetre piece of Pretty Peacock and a 5.5 by 6.5 piece of Basic White. And then I've got some Basic White, a bit of Basic White and a bit of Pretty Peacock there that I'm going to use to do my sentiment strip across there. But first of all, I'm going to swirl this over, and I am going to pick, I think, this little stamp just here, which is this one just here. No, it isn't, I fib, it is this one just here. So actually I'm going to swap that because it is this one just here that I want, I think. So this image just here, that is the sort of little leaves with sort of like not quite berries, some little bits sticking out from inside them. I'm going to take that and I'm going to take some Lost Lagoon ink. And if we look at the sketch just here, it's got sort of 3 little dots in the bottom left and the top right. Rather than doing dots, I am going to do a little bit of stamping. I might add some embellishments in there afterwards, but to start with, rather than dots, I'm going to stamp some leaves, just some of these leaves just here, and I might go mad, do 2 in that top corner just there. So as I say, I might scatter some embellishments in there when we finished, but to start with, in those positions where those dots were on the sketch, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. Now, for this little piece of white card just here, I'm actually going to take some of my washi tape. I'm going to just add some washi tape. Ooh, I didn't want to stick it to that. Let's just tear that off for a minute and I will deal with that. And on and on. Let us just add this. It is quite sticky, this washi tape. Add that to that panel just there. We'll take some scissors, trim it. I'm not too worried about it being fancy. As I say, it is quite sticky. Let's get to trim around the outside there, get rid of that excess. And then just going to wrap this over the back. And what happens on the back stays on the back. Nobody will be any the wiser. All that matters is that on the front, it's looking lovely. So I'm then going to add that to that pretty peacock panel. And instantly, we have decorated our panel. A bit sticking out just there. Without any effort, really, whatsoever, other than the effort I've got of trying to unpeel this from the front of my stamp set. I really will wait and do that later. Right, so there we have our panel. It happens to us all. These things always happen when you're live, don't they? To be fair, they happen when I'm not live as well. So welcome to my world. There we go. So that's that panel just there. And for this panel just here, I'm going to take a blending brush of some sort. Let's dig and see which one will work the best. Let's go with that one. Rub that off a bit on a bit of scrap paper to get rid of some of that excess ink on there. And then I will take, I think, the Lost Lagoon ink. Let's ink a pad brush with that. As always, I like to take this off the paper and play with it on the glass mat, just because, sorry if you're wobbling about a bit, because the ink doesn't sit into the glass mat, so any ink that you've got sitting on there, you can pick up just going to add a bit of colour to the back of that mat. Let's come back down again. We'll stick those together. We're going to have this coming on there eventually. Somewhere I have got a piece of basic white card. I'm going to use some of our stamps. I'm going to use this large one just here. And I think I'm going to go with the one that we had just now in the Lost Lagoon. Now, as I say, there is some two-step stamping going on here. So let us find the bits that go with it. Yeah, so that is the stamp that goes with that one. And this one is just as it is. There isn't a two-step stamping element to this particular image. Right, so I'm going to ink this large one up in Pretty Peacock. Let's give that a stamp. And while we've got this one, let's ink it up a little bit more, and I think we'll just add some of that for our insert. Take that back out of the way. Let's take this one. I think my Pretty Peacock ink needs re-inking, but interestingly enough, it's giving like a real ombre effect. That's quite nice. It would have taken me a lot of work to get that to have gone like that. I'm going to do 2 of these. Now, where's my other little piece? Just there. And then I'm going to stamp these off. Line them up. Doesn't matter if they're a little off. And those are then coloured. So now for some die cutting. Just there. And let's find our dies. So we're going to want this large one just here for this one. And this one for those. And then in addition, for my washi tape vellum combo, I'm going to do a couple of these. And I think a couple of those. I'll grab my cutting box. I'll do this to one side, otherwise you wobble like mad if I'm die cutting on the desk. So let's die cut these. Lining them up. Oh, see, I was so determined not to make you wobble by die cutting on the desk and then smack into my phone holder. We're doing really well today, aren't we? Right, here's one. So here's our big image. and one of our smaller ones. Let's line this second smaller one up. There's that one, and then let's have a look at these. Let's have this one just here. And this one just here. It's starting to get a bit dark just here. Don't know whether it's the time or whether we're going to have some rain. So much rain that we get, but you know, it's been an hour or two since we've had any. One of them we bought in transfer. These are stamped ones. Here's our vellum ones. Let's just do one more of these and then we will. Let's have that one just there. Oh, we're definitely fingers and thumbs today. I've got notifications coming up that my husband is trying to ring me. He's in the shops, so I don't know what that's about. He's going to have to wait a minute. It's all going on today. Right. Let's just pop these dies on my magnet just there so I don't lose them. Bring in our card. So I think bring this up. I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals, I think. About like that. Then let's do a little bit of, well, not flower arranging, it's leaf arranging. Swing that round a little bit. Something like that, I think. Right, so let's just load these out. I'm going to pop out those centre bits from in there. And then let's add in some multi-purpose glue on that one. Now for these vellum ones, I'm going to bring in some glue dots because I don't want to add too much in the way of adhesive to these, because it does have the tendency to show through. So if I just put it glue dot on the bottom, down here, this is going to tuck behind these leaves, so I can put a little bit of multi-purpose adhesive on there and just tuck that in there. And the same with this one. We'll tuck it in there. And this little one on the top. Make that. Let's dig about in our twine box. I think we'll go for some linen thread, probably. So the sketch does have you can see a bow in the center of it, but I'm actually going to drop my bow down so that it's actually on my leaves. I think we'll make it a double bow as well. So let's fold that piece of linen thread in half and then make our bow. And tweak. And let's find our scissors and that. Have that on the bottom there. Just deposited glue dots everywhere. So let's find a glue dot. Hit that up. Put that on there. So all we've got left to do now is to stick this insert in, and then we've just got our sentiment to do. Let's add that in the centre there. And for our sentiment, I'm actually going to swap stamp set. And I'm going to dig out another foliage and leaf scent stamp set, the friendly foliage, because I'm going to have this thinking of you card, I think. This thinking of you sentiment. Such a good sentiment for so many occasions, from you're not very well, sympathy, just lost your job, just because. Lots of reasons to send a thinking of you card. Let's stamp that in the centre of this piece of basic white. I'm going to bring in my long scissors. Let me just make it a bit easier. And add that to the pretty peacock background. And add that with some dimensionals too. Just like that. And then I'm just thinking about sentiments. I'll find what I'm looking for. What have I done with those? Let's bring in some of these iridescent holographic resin dots. I'm just going to add and another one up there. Right. There we are. So we've got some stamping and a few little embellishments in those corners. Instead of these, instead of just dots here, but we've got our panel down the side, which we've got here with our washi tape on, and then our panel just here. We've got a whole little arrangement of some stamped, some die cut from the vellum, leaves and things, and then a stamped insert as well. That wasn't very good, was it? Because I've just done all of that and not shown you this. So let's have a look at the screen. So there we are, panel down the side, panel here with stamped and die cut leaves on. You've got your sentiment panel, you've got your stamped leaves and embellishments in that top and bottom corner. So that is my take on the sketch. Hope you have enjoyed that, and don't forget to go and have a look at all of the other projects that have been created for you for the Stamp Around UK video hop, and I will look forward to seeing you again next month.